Once every few years, a device comes along that changes the way we experience things. The time is now, the wait is over. The Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Without a doubt, it is a phone that will turn heads. It's the successor to the Pioneer that defined the category, that spawned a new wave of phone tablets heading towards us in the year 2013. It's the rock star of phones, with its excessive features that trump anything that ever stood before it. And in this review, you'll see exactly why. Let's begin with the hardware. Samsung went all out here, providing the Note 2 with a 1.6 GHz quad-core processor based on a mix of A9 and A15 architecture. This translates to faster speeds and more efficient power consumption. The GPU has also been overclocked. 2GB of RAM comes as standard, meaning better multitasking and better gaming. A 5.5-inch Super AMOLED HD 720p display graces the front panel, and an 8-megapixel camera with variable speed, slow motion and 1080p video playback resides at the rear. Let's take a look at the new screen. It's incredible. Text and images look crisp due to the new pixel arrangement, i.e. it's no longer a pentile display. The Note 2 screen has better whites than its predecessor, and black clipping is now eliminated. The new Note is slightly taller and skinnier than the original model. Its screen is now 1280 by 720p versus 1280 by 800 on the old Note. This favours one-handed use. Construction also feels more solid, with a sturdier back panel that does not creak or flex once installed. Although it is constructed better than the original Note, I would still prefer high quality materials such as aluminium rather than plastics. The battery has now increased to 3100 mAh. Coupled with a more efficient processor, the Note seems to have 1.5 to double the battery life of the older model. Unfortunately, the new Note is fitted with a micro SIM tray, which can cause some minor inconveniences. The Note 2 sure is a big phone, but compared to a full-size tablet, it's still got some growing to do. The new Note is 9.45mm thin. The difference in thicknesses can't really be seen, but can be felt. Let's talk software. The Note 2 is the first new smartphone to ship with Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean provides consistent smoothness across the entire operating system. This is a first for Android. Android now feels like a completely new operating system on this device. It's just now ridiculously smooth. Stutters just don't happen, and I mean don't ever happen. With Android having 2GB of RAM to play with, apps launch instantly and rarely go into hibernation. As you can see, I've added my own custom interface, which we'll get to a bit later. Samsung have also added their own special tweaks to this device. There's now support for multiple windows, allowing 2 apps to run at once. Here's a practical example. Say a friend emails you an address. Say it's the address of a restaurant, which specializes in lettuce. If you want to search it up, or search its exact location, you can just simply pull up another window and look for it, without ever leaving Gmail. You may resize the windows to see more or less, switch windows places, or go full screen at any time. It's pretty sweet. This feature seems to work better than the Galaxy Note 10.1. At the moment, a lot of useful apps work in this mode, but not all applications. So hopefully in the future we'll see Samsung add all applications to work in this mode. All apps are still fully functional when windowed in this mode, and work smoothly when used individually. To access this mode, all you need to do is long press the back button. It will bring up the menu and make it disappear. If we long press the menu button, we end up with something called Google Now. Google Now can be likened onto Siri. It's a personal assistant where you can ask questions and it will answer you with instant results from Google's search engine. It can also do simple calculations and other things such as track your journeys and where you go most often to create a personalised public transport information hub. So, with a screen this big and this beautiful, you're going to want to browse the web. So, how is web browsing? Let me just tell you, it's excellent. So, with the quad-core processor and 2GB of RAM, web pages load fast and they actually scroll even faster. A couple of times when I first got the phone initially, when I was loading some Google web pages, I would literally look away for a second or blink and miss it load. Pinch to zoom is fluid and fast, and you can scroll through the entire web page without any stutters or lagging. Auto rotate works well as well. The website I'm on at this moment is Engadget. As you can see, there's lots of images and some multimedia stuff going on. It's quite impressive that this phone can just chew through it with no problems. Obviously text looks crisp with a new screen, and generally when it comes to web browsing, this device is unparalleled. The only downside would be the lack of flash. Google said they would stop supporting flash in Jelly Bean, so I went ahead and tried to download flash from the Play Store and install it, but unfortunately it still didn't work. So I'm afraid we're going to have to settle with a YouTube app for YouTube videos, but I'll keep working on this to see if I can get it going. Yet another unique feature of this phone is something called pop-up browser. Let's see how it works. Say a mate of yours sends you an email with a link to a funny video of someone eating lettuce. Now you can pop out a web browser that can float anywhere along the screen and you can move it around. You can even leave Gmail and do whatever you want to do while this video, or whatever web page, is still on top of the screen. Well, you're probably thinking, well that's great, but what else is there? Well, with 2GB of RAM, now you can have a whole lot of tabs open without the browser force closing or crashing anymore. And everything behaves just as it would if only one tab was open. Due to the more efficient processor, the phone no longer gets hot when browsing for short periods of time. Being a Jelly Bean device, the Note 2 has a pull-down notifications area. In this place you may expand notifications, toggle settings such as Wi-Fi, GPS, sound, screen rotation, Bluetooth, data, power saving, and much more. These quick toggle shortcuts now replace the need for third-party widgets. Multitasking is still here, but works even better and is smoother because of Jelly Bean and the advanced hardware. The app transition animation has now been modified to more of a swiping across card than a fade in. We can view the task manager from the multitasking area, and you'll be able to see that the phone happily sits above 1GB of RAM by not doing a lot, so Android will chew up more RAM as it needs it. This ensures that apps launch instantaneously. Unfortunately, I do not have enough time in this review to show you the Galaxy Note 2 performing as a full-size computer, but in future videos I will. Anyway, if you do hook this up to an HDMI out full PC monitor with a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, you'll be able to see that you can indeed perform some intermediate word editing and intermediate Excel spreadsheet editing. If you're anything like me, you'll be wondering how gaming is. I'm not just going to be playing Angry Birds here, but Nova 3, an actual game. So let's get started. Nova 3 is actually quite graphic intensive and seems to max out the GPU on the old Galaxy Note. How does it seem here? Well, let me say, for starters, things are a lot smoother. It seems like the new Exynos chipset works quite well with the overclocked GPU, providing an enjoyable gaming experience. All the shadows and textures obviously look absolutely great on the massive screen. Coupled with improved pixel matrix technology, you can't go wrong. And also the S Pen comes in handy for certain games where precision is needed. Games such as Apparatus that involve moving objects very specifically and with pinpoint accuracy. Wait, the S Pen, we haven't even talked about that yet. And this, my friends, is what sets the Galaxy Note series apart from absolutely everything else. So let's get started on the S Pen. The S Pen has been significantly improved. As soon as you pick it up, you'll know. As I mentioned earlier, this is what sets the Galaxy Note series apart from every other phone. It adds pretty much twice the features. Now it becomes value for money. The stylus now feels more natural and is now actually pleasurable to use. Let's start with AirView. Whether it's scrolling between different tabs on a web page or previewing thumbnail photos, AirView is a great idea and adds even more functionality, and Samsung managed to integrate it throughout the system. Let's take a closer look. AirView is a term for when the phone can be operated with extra functions without the stylus actually touching the phone. AirView is automatically activated when the stylus hovers about 1 cm above the screen. We may even preview videos and skip instantly to the thumbnail we want to go to. It works great and is actually really fast. Another feature is Pop-Up Player. Now we can actually pop up a window and, like the web browser, do anything that we want to without actually closing down the video we were playing. With AirView, we get to see hidden options on web pages that would be impossible to see on a regular mobile phone. This is the only phone that I know of that can view these extra menus properly. But of course, we haven't even begun to explore the S Pen and its functionalities. Much like the original Galaxy Note, you can take a screenshot by holding down the action button and pressing against the screen. Say you have a friend who really likes Porsche and wants a new car to courier his letters in. All you have to do is hold down the action button and trace carefully around the Porsche. Obviously this was a demonstration, so it wasn't done very well, but you can output it to a whole host of applications. I'm going to choose S Note here so we can modify this a little bit more. Once you open S Note, you'll notice that there's a little preview box now on the bottom left corner. This is new. You want to tell your friend that this car is really great, so you want to add a little title. You can write whatever you want, insert pictures, insert videos, clip arts, text, formulas, shapes, letters, the list goes on and on. Using the S Pen on the Galaxy Note 2 feels a lot more like paper compared to the Galaxy Note 1. The writing is more responsive and much more accurate. If you use the original Galaxy Note, you would know that the original S Note application was a bit laggy. That's now been fixed in the Galaxy Note 2. It's quite fluid and actually feels a lot better to use. AirView makes yet another appearance here. When you hover the stylus over the buttons, it gives you little pop-up descriptions as to what each of them may do. There's another thing called Idea Sketch, which is brand new. I'm not really sure what the point of it is, but if you do decide to do a written search for a clip art, it will find the nearest result and return it to you. So I'm afraid this dog is sitting on top of this Porsche and I yet do not know why. You can actually switch between eraser and pen menu by holding down the function button and hovering the stylus over the screen. Have you ever been in a situation where you're in a phone call with someone and they ask you to write something down, but you don't have a pen or a paper? No longer. All you need to do is hold down the action button and double tap the screen and the note feature comes up. This time it's fully movable and you can expand it at will. No more pen and paper, guys. And AirView also is enabled at this point. As you can see, I can pull up the full S Note application and the phone call is still running inside the background. Now we'll move on to something else called Quick Commands. When you hold the action button down and swipe upwards, you'll be greeted with a quick menu window. From here, you can do things such as web searches, search maps, call contacts, email contacts, and message contacts, all by drawing symbols and writing down keywords. For example, we may do an @ sign and James to email my contact James. I don't have my web set up, so it didn't work there, but you get the idea. The Galaxy Note 2 is pocketable, which may be surprising to some. It is a bit longer than the original Galaxy Note and you can actually feel that, but still, it's no big issue. Let's talk about the camera. Samsung's packed in some pretty sweet things here. The camera application has now been pumped with a whole host of extra features, including some hipster filters which probably no one else would use. But apart from that, we do have quite a few useful settings, such as burst mode, so you can hold down the shutter button and take multiple photos in a very small amount of time, single shot, best photo, best face, face detection, panorama, share shot, HDR, buddy photo share, beauty, smile shot, and low light. The camera takes quite good photos, which I'll show you in a second. And the video camera has also some extra features. The video camera did have a bit of trouble on low light. The frame rate did stay high, but it seemed that the ISO gain was a bit too high and it was a bit noisy at times. Image stabilization and tap to focus were both big plus points for me. One of the cool features of the camera was the slow motion mode. We can go anywhere from half speed all the way down to an 1/8 speed. Let's check out some video samples. So as we reach the end of this review, let's go over some additional points. Call quality is decent, and Samsung have chucked in some extra features, such as noise cancellation and speaker boost. The rear speaker is also very, very loud, but you must be careful of distortion when it comes to lower quality MP3s. The GPS is obviously ridiculously good, much like the first Galaxy Note. GPS locks happen in under 5 seconds, so you might as well throw away your old GPS, because the screen of the Note is big enough to replace it completely. Apple Maps? What is that? So about that interface, it's a bunch of apps that I threw together to create something that feels completely unique. It's just a testament to Android's amazing customization ability. With the Galaxy Note 2's powerful hardware, everything runs so smooth that it feels native. This is the first time this has ever happened for me. But anyway, I'll be showing you how to do all of this in later videos. So the conclusion. We have learnt that the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 is a ridiculously powerful device that is capable of doing pretty much anything. I did miss out a lot, like the fact that it can support native USB storage, HDMI output, or the use of accessories such as Bluetooth keyboards and Bluetooth mice. There's almost nothing to complain about here, except low light camera performance. The original Samsung Galaxy Note was an absolutely incredible device, except for a few details. Samsung seems to have listened to the customers and have fixed every single problem that existed in the initial Galaxy Note. This results in a device that is fast, smooth, and an absolute joy to use. So what is the verdict and conclusion of all of this? Well, politely put, if you're in the market for a new smartphone, you wouldn't be the sharpest tool in the shed if you overlook this device. I know the size may not be for everyone, but if size isn't an issue, this is definitely worth a look. Nah, just kidding, I actually prefer old Nokias. No, but seriously, it is a good phone and I do recommend it highly. But anyway, that rounds out the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching and sticking through till the end. If you really believe that Android phones such as this are the best phones that are out there, and you're sick of people saying that the iPhone is the only phone and the best phone, please like and share this video. There are links in the description below if you want to have a look at the Galaxy Note 2. Otherwise, thanks for watching and don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe.